More like probably 64 below. So probably a day's worth of firewood right there. Nice. First Alaskan trap. Alaskan trap one. It's freaking so many years I've been wanting to do this pole set. Another trap in. That's trap number 5. So they should be able to see right up through there. See the bait. Stand here for as long as I can take it. Oh, this is my last trap. Lynx trap we set yesterday. Nobody's been down here in forever. Here we go. Well, welcome to the Beaver Retriever channel, where I bring you along showing you my lifestyle. And we're up in Alaska this winter, so we're actually staying out of a little 8x8 Eskimo shack. Yeah, so we got a wood stove in here. Works pretty good. Yeah, so it's over 60 below on my thermometer today. That's more like probably 64 below. So I'm gonna get right back into the shack. Good morning to hang out in the shack. Edit YouTube videos. Yeah. Freaking chilly. That's the coldest it's been since I've been here. And it's been pretty cold since I've been here. I've seen 50 below probably 5-6 times since I've been here in the last 3 weeks. And I think it's only gotten above 0 once, maybe. Usually it's been 20 to 40 below since I've been here the last 3 weeks. So good for the fur market though. Holy, when I finally start catching some furs, they'll be worth something. Them things are going to be furred out, primed out, freaking awesome right now after this 60 below. End of the week we'll be setting some marten traps. So finally, that's the whole plan of this trip, was to come to Alaska trapping marten. One thing about this cold weather is I sit in the shack a lot more, just edit YouTube videos, trying to keep up on this editing. Almost all caught up. I'd like to be editing yesterday's videos this morning. That's what I try to be. And ever since I came up here, I've been 3 weeks behind again. So finally getting caught up though. All right, I'm gonna try to cut up some firewood and be ready for the night. Freaking, what's the temp now? It's only about 60 below now. Yeah, so I got a bunch of firewood cut up today. And I was trying to videotape splitting it, but the battery is freaking dying on the GoPro. Freaking 60 below. And I just didn't mess around putting another battery in, so... But yeah, that's what we got for wood inside. So that'll be enough for about 2 days. We got some birch mixed in there, and we got some softwood mixed in there. Cleaning out my wood stove today. Still freaking 60 below out there. Well, actually, I think it was like 59 below a little bit ago. And it's supposed to be cold for another week. Try to make some more room in this wood stove. Yeah, now I scrape some of the coals back to the front. It's a lot easier to start the fire. And a little more room in there is all I was after. Definitely just sucks, small stove, but it manages to stay warm for 3 weeks with this thing, so I guess to give it credit. I did have to customize it. I cut out this front plate here. You can see the draft hole, and then those 2 draft holes down here. So it had to go through this plate and come out, and man, this thing was not getting a good draft. So I cut this out, and yeah, now it gets an awesome draft. I got a little screw thing here to close it up. So for when I'm awake and being 60 below, I've been leaving that off so it gets freaking cranking. Now we get the fire back and going. I'm gonna try to cook some French fries in the frying pan. So good. Starting to. French fries are done. Fried up French fries. Yeah, those are good. Nice warm French fries when it's 60 below. Nice. Nice out. Nice and balmy out, right? Alright, that's enough of that. Alright, we're headed for a dogsled ride. We got Boss and Con, Otter and Lynx, we got Mink and Bella, and Sable and Beaver dog. Well, that didn't work for a leader. Boss did not work, so we had to swap him out and put Mink up there. And it's cold. I'm not going to videotape a whole hell of a lot. Yeah, I had to move Mink back up front. He's an awesome leader. Boss is just too slow. They'll just run him over. Yeah, so I try to grab some free pallets when I can. That's awesome firewood. Mix in with some of my crappy firewood. Yeah, definitely nice to mix in some of that pallet wood with our crappy softwood. My wood that I'm using at my friend's house is kind of wet. Alright, today's big moving day. I'm trying to move my setup out into the woods. My buddy's gonna help me with the snowmobile, or let me use the snowmobile. That way I can load up a bunch of my gear. We're all loaded up. We got the snowmobile. I'm just gonna borrow my friend's snowmobile to get my stuff out there. I got the tent and a couple things with me now. And we'll come back for all this other stuff. Where I want to go. I wanted to go a little further, but this is going to be good for now. We can set the dogs up there in the woods there. Gives them a little bit of cover. And put my tent somewhere right here. Got the tent all set up. Unloaded all my stuff. We're going to go back out and get another load. Yeah, we got another load out. So, get the fire going in the tent now. I'm going to stay here and get this going real good. Throw on some good hardwood. And I'm going to work my way back and go grab the dog team. So 4 to 5 miles away from civilization here. So this is nice. Can't wait to be trapping in a few days. Alright, we're headed out with the dog team. I'm leaving my light on low just so it lasts longer. So, and it's freaking cold on the hand, so I'm not going to videotape much till we get out there. Made it out to the campsite. Got the dogs a bunch of hay. These guys will be good. Alright, first things first, gotta melt some snow. Gotta mix some dog food. And I want to make a box of mac and cheese. And I also want to make a drink for the night. So we gotta melt snow from now on. No water out here. Yeah, dinner is served. We got some tuna mac. Got some tuna fish and Kraft mac and cheese. And I like some sandwiches. These things are freaking good. Yeah, so the aurora lights were just out. Yeah, it sucks the GoPro does not pick up the northern lights there, but I'll show a clip of what I got on my phone. Comes out pretty good on my phone. Northern lights are out tonight. They look weird in the camera. It's not that bright, but man, my camera's making it look that bright. Alright, well that's it for today. Tomorrow we're gonna cut some firewood. And first thing in the morning, I'm gonna make some coffee and then start cutting firewood. We're cutting up some firewood this morning. Sun's just starting to come up. I just ran out of firewood. Got a bunch of pallet wood, but we're trying to save that pallet wood. So we got a dead tree right here we're gonna cut up. And then after I make my coffee, we're gonna go around and try to find enough firewood for a few days. It's only like 9:30 and the sunrise isn't until 10:50 today. So they get like an hour or better of dawn. More like an hour and a half of dawn. So nice. The chainsaw is wicked dull, so we're giving it a good sharpening. Couple of dead ones right over here. You see that one in the center of the screen with no limbs on it? That's a dead spruce. There's a couple to the right of it, and I see a bunch out through there. And powder here, that's for sure. Wicked powder. Like up to my knees powder. Whoa, shit. Oh, yeah, nice firewood. That one right there. Sweet. That's actually probably a day's worth of firewood right there. Nice. We got a batch cut up. And once I start the chainsaw, I try to cut as much as I can. Because if that chainsaw gets wet, if the pull cord gets wet, or the chain and bar get all wet, they're going to freeze pretty quick. It was 50 below a little bit ago. It's warming up now. I think it's not for 50 below now. It's probably more like 40 below, maybe. Yeah, we got a little batch of wood cut here. First load. Probably at least a night's worth. Probably a little more than a night's worth of firewood. Really don't take much to heat an 8x8 shack, so I don't keep it freaking 90 in there. I keep it 40 to 60 in there. That's plenty good for me, especially being out in these cold temps all the time. You don't want to go from freaking 80 to 40, 50 below. You're gonna be that much colder. You're not gonna give your body a chance to acclimate to colder weather. So that's why I try to run it a little bit cooler in the tents. Yeah, I'm actually comfortable right now. 40 below, I'm freaking comfortable. So this ain't bad. I wouldn't stand around doing nothing out in this temperature, but I can be active and still do stuff out here. I found a way better tree than them last ones we just cut. This thing's a nice one. Look at that. Tallest tree in the area. That is dead as can be, bark's falling off of it. Packing a trail for it to land into so I don't have to find it throughout the snow. I got 2 loads of firewood in, so now we're gonna do a little exploring, throwing on the snowshoes. And there's an old trail that goes off this way, and you can see that knoll of trees over there. It's kind of where I want to set a trap right off, so we're gonna snowshoe a trail in here. We brought Sable with me this time. And, go check it out. Then we'll go back and get another load of firewood. Big dog up here breaking trail. So nice. Right, Sable dog, you got a face full of snow. Doesn't faze you a bit. We're headed up into this knoll of woods here. A little trail did come right by it, so I'll see if we come right to here. I can park my dog team right there if I don't do it just by foot from the tent, because the tent ain't far from here. But then we come in here and set a trap. I'm making it up this hillside, so pretty steep. Doesn't look it on camera, but the camera's about straight right there. So I'm gonna pack a trail here, kind of side hilling it. We'll do a loop up that way. That way I set a trap. Once this freezes down, this will be awesome walking up through here. There's some tracks right behind Sable. I think them are some marten tracks themselves right there. Nice. Headed out with the dog team to grab some traps. So first thing tomorrow morning I'll be setting traps where we saw that marten track today. So moon's out. It's nice. And we got the sun setting over here. Looks like the sky's on fire out there. And we got Boss Dog back here trailing. Yeah, dog musking under the moonlight. Can't see it on camera. I'll break out the phone and we'll get a video with the phone. It comes out on the phone camera. Yeah, doing good. Cold out tonight. It's like 42, 44 below or so right now. Love seeing the moon shadow. Look at the shadows these dogs got. Pretty cool. Yeah, dog mushing under moonlight. Pretty fun. Pretty bright out here tonight. Yeah, we're making some pancakes this morning on the wood stove, so got some pancake mix here. We got some water melted up there in the pot and mixed together, and have me some pancakes and be working off pancake power today. Sucks, I had a canvas seat I've been using as a table, and that freaking canvas ripped on me last night as I was sitting in it. So no more table. Got like my totes here I can use as a table. Yeah, pancakes are on. Only problem is I don't have a spatula, so they might not come out very nice, but I'm not too worried. As long as they're cooked, mix some syrup with them, call it good. Try to flip them with the fork here, but I don't think that's gonna work. Pancakes are done. They're a little crispy, but I was gut writing in my journal and wonder why I was getting smoky in here. I was burning my freaking pancakes. So I'm gonna get a bowl out and some syrup. Have me some breakfast. Definitely glad I brought my maple syrup. I got my own homemade maple syrup. Making maple syrup all my life. And actually, that's the first thing I'm doing when I get back to Maine is making maple syrup. That's kind of why I'm going back to Maine is I gotta make my maple syrup. Hopefully get 2, 3, maybe at least 3 traps in today is my goal. I'm gonna be on foot, so I don't want them that close together, so I wouldn't mind having them at least a half a mile apart. I'm trying to go for like a trap a mile, but it all depends on what I see for sign and what I got 38 traps, so I just don't want to overset it, but I probably will. Pre-setting some traps here, just compressing these springs and putting on this little safety latch there, so I don't have to mess with that out in the cold and when I'm setting traps. I can just actually set the trap on the tree, take these safeties off, and the trap set. I don't have to compress these springs, so I got a set of trap setters here, so that's why I'm trying to do this now. So this is easier with trap setters than by hand. A half dozen of them all preset with my little safety latches there on. And we're gonna throw them all in this backpack. Grab some skunk essence. I got a moose rib cage I gotta try to cut into pieces with my axe for bait. And we're headed out trapping. We're just gonna go on foot today. I might just go set a couple traps, walk back to the tent. Yeah, I got my bait cut up. What I got is a moose rib cage I got from a friend. And I got a roadkill rabbit. First day I was in Alaska, I picked up a roadkill rabbit, right squash. So we got 6 pieces here, so we got 6 traps. So we'll see if we get them set to grab some snowshoes here. And we're off. Got a backpack full of traps, bait, lure, axe, handsaw. Got the sable dog. Oh, what else do I got? A couple pairs of gloves. I think we're good. Got my coffee. Headed out to set my first trap in Alaska. Yeah, this is where my very first Alaskan trap's gonna go. We're gonna make a pole set right off of this tree here. Setting my very first Alaskan trap. My Alaskan trap line. These are little 155s I'm setting. So what we're gonna do is try to clamp this right on this post up here. So I don't know how it's gonna work. I have confidence in it, but hey, every set I set I got confidence in, so just hopefully they don't go around it, which I don't think they will. I might even put a little more brush around it there. I think they'll just go right up through there. Yeah, they'll just go right up through the trap, I think. So, looks good. And just put some skunk essence right there. So, there's my first Alaskan trap. So, I think we're gonna walk this ridge and maybe set another one. Here's trap number 2. Freaking right. It's been freaking so many years I've been wanting to do this pole set. I love these sets, so. And the only thing I do see will be a problem is when I catch a critter, I'll have to redo all my brush here. So, which ain't too bad. A lot of people use coffee cans and stuff, but I don't really have, I don't want to be carrying any extra that I don't have to. So, we'll just deal with this. So, now we're going to go back to camp and warm up, eat some lunch. We'll come out and try to walk out a little bit further and set 2 more. Headed out to set another trap. I think that's about all I got time for is 1 more. Just went back to the tent to lunch. I got a mink with me this time. I'm gonna walk up and won't climb way up the hill like I have been. So that's where we've been setting, is way up the hill. So I'm gonna set close to the trail from now on, so that way when I'm on the dog team, I can quickly check my trap. Not have to leave the dogs for any amount of time. If not, there'll be fights and they'll be chewing on their lines and everything else. We're almost where I'm gonna set my next trap. It's just only going so far because it's quite the workout busting trail here. But this will be nice. Every time I do this, be a little bit nicer. And this will be my dog trail. So I got Minkaroni with me. He was breaking trail. This is a freaking blast. You can't tell you how excited I am to be setting this style trap. Down in Maine, they make you carry around boxes, and they don't want you catching lynx down home. That up here, you can catch a lynx. So can't wait to set for them too. I got some 220s. We're gonna be setting for them here, especially if I see tracks. Like I'm set on sign. That's what I'm kind of trapping as. I've seen some martins on here. I'm setting martin traps. I start seeing wolf tracks or a lot of fox tracks, coyote tracks, something like that. I'd set a foothold for one of them. And if I see a lynx track, a wolverine or something, I will set a 220 in the same type of setup and hope I catch one of them. So this is freaking awesome. This set came out nice. So they can see the bait from down here. Getting the hang of this now. Pretty soon I'll be making these sets quicker and quicker. This one actually wasn't too bad. I've probably been 15 minutes maybe making the set, maybe 20. So we're actually got enough time. I'm gonna hop on the snowshoes and we're gonna walk a little bit further and set another one. Try to get 4 in today. There, there's set number 4 for today. So I think they're coming out pretty good. Time will tell. We'll be able to tell if something went around it and got to the bait or not. But it definitely looks like the clearest path is up the pole right through the trap to the bait. I'm going to try not to check these tomorrow, but more than likely I'm going to check these 4 traps tomorrow. And then I'll either come out further up this trail right here, or there's a Y back here that brings me over to the river. So I want to go both ways, but I'll pick one way or the other tomorrow. And we'll walk a little bit further and set a couple more tomorrow. Eventually I'll start using the dog team to come out here and check these, and I'll tie them down and I'll hop on my snowshoes and break trail a little bit further. So gonna be a mission trying to get this whole line set in. So it'll probably take me a month to set it up. And then at the end of February we're done. So we're only at this for 2 months and we're going home. All right, well it's the next day, so I'm pretty excited. I want to go check them traps right now, but I'm not gonna. I'm gonna try to go set a couple more traps today. And then when we walk back from setting them ones, we will check the 4 we set yesterday. Yeah, so this is the biggest cold snap in the month of December they've had since 1980. So 45 years since they've had that much cold in December. So that's pretty cool. So as I'm living in a freaking tent out here with the frost on the wall in the tent, when it's 60 below, the frost definitely builds up anywhere where the wood stove isn't really heated. On this side where the wood stove is, no frost, but right here behind me, behind all my stuff, it's a little frosty. About 60 below. Yeah, right there. I should have done this on New Year's. And do a little New Year's trick. Ready? Happy New Year. All it is flint off my lighter. I just sit here and try to wear off some of that flint without it actually sparking. And just throw it at the stove and it all goes off. Yeah, we're headed out to set some traps and check them traps we set yesterday. Yeah, we're down into where I'm going to set my next trap. This will be my 5th trap that I'm going to be setting. Another trap in. That's trap number 5. Should work pretty good. Bait's right there past the jaws. We made it back to the tent and we checked all my traps and I had no martin, but I did see a martin at my very last trap I was checking. The sable was acting funny, so I kind of looked up in the trees, saw some snowfall. Next thing you know, I saw him jump from tree to tree. The battery is dead on the GoPro, so I haven't taken no videos with the GoPro today, but I'm finally back here, got a new battery in. So I did see some lynx tracks out there too, on the river. So we saw a pair of lynx tracks going up the river. So we're grabbing a 220 right now and heading right back out there and gonna set a 220 somewhere, somehow for a lynx. So if I had my 330s, I'd set a 330, and if I had my footholds, I'd set them, but all them traps are still back at my truck. So next time I go out, I'll bring back out all the rest of my traps. Well, we made it back down to the river where I found them lynx tracks this morning, and found this log here. I don't know how the setup's going to work, but I'm going to put my bait up here and put maybe a trap on both sides of it. Alright, this is what I'm coming up with. I'm going to put one conibear right there. And I'm going to put one conibear right there. I already got a piece of rabbit right there. And we're going to brush in all around this rabbit from trap to trap. So they can see right through and see light both ways. Still got to put some trees over the top of the 2 traps. But there's a trap on this side. There's a trap on the other side. So they should be able to see right up through there. See the bait. And the triggers are off to the side. So it kind of gives them a nice big opening. It's my very first lynx trap that I actually purposely set for lynx. So I've caught lynx down in Maine on footholds, but never been able to set a conibear like this. I don't really like the setup here, but we're gonna try it. We're running out of daylight now, but get the trigger all the way off to one side. There's a piece of rabbit right there, and I actually got a piece of moose meat in there too. Rubbed all kinds of moose meat here. Hopefully they'll jump up here and stick their head down through there, I hope. So we're out of here. It's freaking cold out. Snorkels are freaking extreme today. It's like a snotberg, not snorkels. Look at that. I'll probably break this one off. Yeah, we always break part of that one off. So this morning I'm gonna repair my beaver fur vest. I noticed I had a rip in it from yesterday. Climbing under that log setting the lynx trap. Fetched up on the log. Yeah, I ain't no seller, but I can make it work. I sewed this vest together. I've been wearing it. I wore it all last winter. I've been wearing it this winter so far and definitely been beat up. So on to the next one. All fixed. There, living out of a tent at 64 below Fahrenheit. In Alaska right now. Make sure to follow me along. Watch my whole adventure. This is funny. This will get your blood pumping. That's for sure. Whew. Got my fur on though. Staying warm, right? I'll stand here for as long as I can take it. Notice my boots falling apart. Down here at the bottom's all coming apart. So we got out my stitcher thing here. We're trying to stitch that back together and then we're going to go check traps. Alright, we're off to check traps. Hopefully today's the day I get my first catch here in Alaska. I hope. We got 5 martin traps and 2 lynx traps to check. Well, nothing on trap 1 and we fixed it. We brought the bait closer to the trap like my old timer that I've been taking advice from told me. So hopefully that'll work. I had to rebrush it a little better, but hopefully they'll run up the pole and go for the big. Well, nothing in my traps today, so this is my last trap, Lynx trap we set yesterday. And still no freaking axe. I don't know what the hell happened to my axe. I've set it down somewhere along the way, or one of the times I fell down, I dropped it or something. I don't know. We've walked the trail twice now and haven't seen it, so. Oh well, I got another smaller hatchet there back to camp, so that's fine. I don't really need it all that much. So the wood I'm burning is pretty freaking small, so I don't need to split it, so. But yeah, we're gonna head back to camp, hang out for a minute, and then continue on firewood, and then walk down to this river again. Try to. We're just gonna break trail as far as I want to today. Yeah, so we're out resurrecting an old trail. If this trail could talk, I bet there's been a few critters been trapped on this trail. An old trapper trail through here. Nobody's been down here in forever. Old trees all down, quite a few blowdowns. You see where I've already gone up through. I'll have to come back through the chainsaw and cut a few bigger ones. Hey, hey, Otter, Lynx, come. Guys, down here. So we're gonna go a little bit further and call it a day. I'll have to bring a chainsaw or handsaw to get a few more of these. Some of them breaking pretty good. This is fun. This is the adventure shit I love to do right here. Yeah, this section of trail is going to need a lot of work. Bailey tells the trail up through there. So, there is no trail through here though. We're snowshoeing our way back out. Well, that's it for this week. So, thanks for tuning in. Make sure to stay tuned in next week for more adventures with the Beaver Retriever.